IQ. He understands the sport. He looks at it in a mental sense. He knows what he needs to do.
And I said, yes, he did. He said, well, if Ray Leonard could beat Marvelous Marvin Hagler, then Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez.
Terence got a great chance to beat him, man. You know what I mean? Terence can box, Terence can move, Terence can punch. You know what I mean? Terence ain't gonna be doing like Skull.
Lennox Lewis was blown away by Terence Crawford's intense training ahead of the Canelo fight. He applauded Crawford's discipline and sharp ring IQ, saying that when Crawford locks in with focus, he always finds a way to win. Lewis stressed that this level of preparation shows Crawford is fully primed for the challenge.
Stay at the top and be at the top. He moves very well. He's a very elusive mover, and his work rate is high.
I won't ask you who's going to win the fight because I know it's a question you've probably been asked a million times, but I will ask you, do you think this fight goes the distance, or do you think this fight ends inside the distance?
Interesting.
Terence Crawford's trainer, Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, made it clear that the big stage isn't overwhelming his fighter. He explained that Crawford feels no pressure stepping into this historic showdown with Canelo Alvarez. For Crawford, it's simply another challenge in an already storied career. Bomac highlighted how his fighter has stayed focused, sharp, and deliberate in preparation. Calm mentally, strong physically, and locked in strategically, Bomac insists Crawford is ready to shock the world and prove himself the true pound-for-pound best.
Have a fight rather than maybe boxing.
No, I don't think there's no pressure on Terence because Terence gonna fight the way that he's used to fighting. So by saying all that stuff that Turkey say or anybody else say, that doesn't bother Terence not one bit. You know, we train for one way, the way we're going to fight, and that's the way we're going to get the job done.
People talk about this fight, and they talk about the outcome of the fight. The sort of narrative online is that, look, Terence was moving up in weight, but we all know Terence can crack. When that fight was made with Errol Spence, it was seen as a 50-50 fight, and in reality what it was one of the most destructive performances I've ever seen. Should fans be surprised if Terence could manage to stop Canelo?
I think that fans are going to be surprised when he dismantled Canelo. The more time goes on, the more time Terence can settle into that weight, the worse it's off for the opponent.
The last one for me, because I know this time is now at that minute as you were talking, so I just have one more question. If he manages to get through Canelo Alvarez, does that cement his place on the Mount Rushmore of boxing?
You just answered the question.
Rhetorical.
Legendary analyst Larry Merchant drew parallels between Crawford o Canelo and one of boxing's most iconic upsets, Sugar Ray Leonard's win over Marvin Hagler. Merchant said Crawford's situation is strikingly similar, a smaller, quicker technician stepping up against a bigger, stronger champion. Just as Leonard used movement, timing, and ring IQ to outpoint Hagler, Merchant believes Crawford has the style to do the same against Canelo. In his view, the blueprint is already written in boxing history, and Crawford has the tools to execute it.
I asked the great Larry Merchant, I said, do you think Terence Crawford has a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez? And Larry said, Jim, did Ray Leonard get an official decision victory over Marvelous Marvin Hagler? And I said, yes, he did. He said, well, if Ray Leonard could beat Marvelous Marvin Hagler, then Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. And I said, why do you say that? He said, same equation. Get in, get out. Get in, get out. Yeah. Over and over and over. He's got to figure the angles and the approaches that will allow him to step in, land to the body, or occasionally upstairs, and then get out. That's what Ray did so effectively.
Respected trainer Bozy Yanis made a bold observation about the matchup. He argued that Canelo Alvarez has struggled in the past against slick, mobile fighters and warned that Crawford is exactly that kind of opponent. Unlike others who couldn't trouble Canelo, Crawford thrives on angles, sharp counters, and forcing rivals into discomfort. Yanis believes this fight won't come down to raw power, but to rhythm and control. If Crawford makes Canelo lose patience, it could open the door to a career-defining victory.
You know that if he can't touch you, you know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean?
Now, did watching that make you feel like Terence Crawford is better than a 50% chance? After watching, I know we've seen him against Laura back in the day, but now this is supposed to be a new and improved Canelo.
Yeah. I think, like I said, Terence got a great chance to beat him, man. You know what I mean? Terence can box, Terence can move, Terence can punch. You know what I mean? Terence ain't gonna be doing like Skull. Terence gonna fight you. You know what I mean? He's Terence from the streets, man. You know what I mean? He know what to do. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, I think he's gonna wind up frustrating Canelo. You know what I mean?
So what's the right way? Because Skull was moving too much. Is as soon as he like goes, as soon as you turn him, then is that when you start firing off?
Well, see, the thing is, the right way, the way I would have my fighters on is I'm boxing him, you know what I mean? And he coming at me, I'm hitting him, pop, 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 pop. And soon he gets set, I'll tie him up. Walking to the center. You know what I mean? We cruise to the ropes and do the same thing good. Keep on frustrating, hit with the jab, boom, boom. Keep on moving, but also hitting him though. You know what I mean? And he gets frustrated, then he let his guard in there. Then it's a good night.
Bernie the boxer, a key voice in Crawford's camp, didn't hold back in his warning to Canelo. He claimed Alvarez's methodical, predictable style plays right into Crawford's strengths. Bernie praised Crawford's instincts, discipline, and fearlessness, saying he has both the talent and the heart to seize victory. He stressed Crawford isn't coming just to show up in a super fight, he's coming to dominate. Confident in his fighter, Bernie said Crawford is prepared to walk through fire to win.
Well, a lot of people are saying about Crawford's age, but, you know, no boxing, no life, as Canelo would say. And Crawford still, you know, in age, but he ain't took no punishment. He's cautious, you know, he works hard throughout these years, so, you know, of course you're gonna, you know, you gotta count that in the factor, but in his heart and his mind and his spirit, he's still youthful about boxing. He loves boxing, and this is one way to get him up. You know, he's a challenge guy. He loves a challenge, and Canelo is the biggest challenge you can get. You know, we got to go up 2 weight classes, really 3 weight classes to get a guy like that. Hardest puncher, great counter puncher, tons of experience, undisputed champion, unified champion, a couple of divisions champion, and so we didn't get the Pacquiao or the Mayweather, but we getting Canelo, and nothing comes easy to Team Crawford, and expect us to look good on the 12th. Expect us to come out victorious September 12th.
Oh, we obviously just saw his fight against Skull, and people didn't obviously enjoy it, the back foot boxing from Skull and whatever, but what fight can fans expect from Bud? Because a lot of people think that it'll be similar to that or the Charlo fight or whatever like that.
The one thing about Crawford is he got guts. Them bums ain't have no guts. Them bums didn't want to win. Crawford want to win. That's it. It ain't about no belt. It ain't about nothing. You didn't sign the contract. We want to win, and he want to be the best, and he is the best. So that's what's going to be the difference. You know, Crawford got guts. He got a fighting spirit. So when you see Crawford, he going to go in there and get busy with Canelo. Don't you even doubt that. You understand? You ain't never seen Crawford stay on the back foot in no fight in his life. You understand? He the type of guy to go get you. So expect him to go get him. We're going to do everything we can to him. We're going to do whatever we got to do, but one thing you can expect is Crawford is going to step to him, because you can't beat Canelo going on the back foot forever. You got to go get him. You got to do something, and he better know.
In preparation for Canelo, Crawford has brought in quality sparring partners to replicate the Mexican champion style. One name is Lester Martinez, a seasoned pro known for strength and pressure. Martinez has tested Crawford in camp, giving him a taste of the size and physicality of a super middleweight. Reports suggest Crawford has looked sharp in these sessions, showcasing his counterpunching and precision while adapting to Martinez's power. This work ensures Crawford enters the fight fully adjusted to the challenge.
Sparring, like Terence being with Lester Martinez, he's about as good a concoction you could hope for as a sparring partner. I need a guy who can come forward with good timing, who's sharp, got good power in both hands. Lester Martinez for Terence Crawford. If you're Canelo, I need a guy that can switch. I need a guy with length. I need a guy with power, with skill. He gets Darrell Valsaint, who's 6'1", 154. He switch hits, southpaw, mostly southpaw like Terence, but can switch. Good long. His arms are almost the exact same length as Terence Crawford, and he's a young 23-year-old good athlete. And then I don't know if Canelo's sparring with Marco Verde, who won the silver medal for Mexico, but Marco Verde would, again, 5'11", long arms, southpaw, can switch. I would think between Darrell Valsaint and Marco Verde, Canelo's getting awesome preparation. And then Terence with Lester Martinez. This is speculative, but someone did mention it to me on Twitter when I was talking about Canelo preparing with Valsaint. They go, well, Lester Martinez had to go home with migraines and pull out of a fight. and he was sparring with Terence Crawford. So, I mean, it's speculative, but you're like, well, if you put 2 and 2 together, if he was getting migraines for sparring Terence Crawford and had to pull out of a fight because of it, then that must mean Terence Crawford is doing well in the...
Analysts are buzzing about the stylistic clash this fight promises. Canelo Alvarez is known for his deliberate, punishing style, steady pressure, explosive combinations, and devastating body shots. Crawford, on the other hand, thrives on rhythm, improvisation, and constant movement. He can switch stances, pivot into new angles, and strike with surgical precision. Experts say this matchup is more than power versus speed, it's calculation against creativity, method against adaptability. Many believe it could turn into one of the most fascinating chess matches in modern boxing.
Predictable. I think Canelo, he likes to go to the same combinations, quite repetitively, whereas Crawford is unpredictable, and in spite of him not having the size, it's the shots that you don't see that hurt the most, and maybe Crawford can hit him with some unexpected shit. And because of the repetitiveness of Canelo, maybe he can time him, maybe he can counter-punch with him, because Crawford is unbelievable at that. But I'm fascinated to see if Crawford has the power to get the respect of Canelo Alvarez, because when you don't, it's a long night. It's not nice. Like Crawford did well against Madrimov, and he won that fight for me quite clearly. But Madrimov was countering him. If you can counter the counter puncher, you can give them a lot of problems when they're not used to that. And Canelo can counter people really well. And as great as Terence Crawford is, we've never seen him in there with someone with the power of Canelo Alvarez. This is a different world of power. And look, maybe Canelo doesn't throw as many shots as he used to, and maybe Crawford might look at that and go, you know what, I'm going to try and outpoint this guy, not get into a war with him, but just show my boxing, genius, and outpoint him and outland him. That's possible. It is. This is why this is such a fascinating matchup, man. We've been treated to some amazing fights. Usyk Fury, for example, this is another one of those mega fights on Riyadh season.
For Crawford, winning isn't just an option, it's instinct. His career has been defined by resilience and rising to the occasion. In training for Canelo, Crawford has pushed himself to sustain high intensity over 12 grueling rounds. Meanwhile, Canelo has also sharpened his tools, sparring with young, fast fighters to mimic Crawford's style. Both camps know the magnitude of this fight and are leaving nothing to chance.
They had this little fracas. It looked kind of WWE to me, but we know Crawford is coming to try to win. That's his DNA, that's his nature, and I think that's what he will attempt to do. So it will be up to Canelo to show him moving up to this weight class was a mistake. Weight classes exist for a reason. So I really like what I'm seeing. Canelo getting young sparring partners in there. He probably is giving them advice and using them for their energy. It's like 50 Cent said in Hustler's Ambition when he said, I need you to hate so I can use you for your energy, right? He's using these younger fighters because Canelo was once the young, hungry fighter, right? And now he's using these younger fighters and sparring with them and working with them as he prepares for this. Now, I think there is something on the line for both fighters. Canelo, payday, you'll want payday, I know that. And also Terence Crawford. But this, especially for Canelo Alvarez, he's not going to want to lose this fight because it's a smaller person. I think it'll be more embarrassing.
Former world champion Zab Judah offered glowing praise for Crawford, calling him sharp, fast, and deadly precise. Judah predicted that Crawford's blend of speed and accuracy could even put Canelo on the canvas. He described Crawford as one of the rare fighters with the intelligence and natural talent to truly trouble Alvarez. Judah added this fight may not just be about winning rounds, Crawford could deliver a statement knockout.
About the fight, what you guys think about the fight? Let's get real.
Crawford in one. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, I think Crawford.
You see how you don't believe in Crawford? You don't believe in Crawford in one?
No, Crawford in one? No, hell no. Crawford in one? No.
Okay.
I got Crawford by decision.
I got Crawford by decision too. And I got Crawford by I got Crawford by a beatdown. If he do what I think he's gonna do, be smooth early and then step it up 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. By the 9th, 10th round, we might see Canelo go sit down. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. If he step it up the way he's supposed to, I think I know that he can do. Watch what I say, y'all. Watch what I say.
Sit down.
Sit down.
By like by stumblage, like by balance or something like that, by hurt?
First of all, punches putting people down. I haven't watched, but I'm telling you, that boy is strong. He's sharp.
Top trainer Derek James issued words of caution for Canelo. He noted that Crawford is unlike any opponent Canelo has faced. While Canelo has battled power punchers and technicians before, Crawford brings a rare mix of fluidity and explosiveness. James said Crawford is tough to time and actually thrives under pressure. His warning to Canelo was clear: underestimate Crawford, and it could prove costly.
It's a good fight. I think that it's a great challenge because I think both guys have great attributes, right? That, you know, they do, and I think they have great attributes, and I think that, so we're looking to possibly see a great matchup, a great fight. And one could be an intellectual fight from Crawford, smart, intelligent fight. And I think, Canelo probably has to be the matador in this one.
He has to be the what?
Matador, yeah.
Matador, yeah.
Yeah, basically, let me see, the bull.
The bull.
You gotta be able to be the bull.
Canelo has to be the bull in this one.
You gotta be it, because I think you're fighting somebody faster, more athletic. You gotta put the, whatever it is that he's doing, he has to be better at that than he is at any other night in his life.
But you know, the big talk here, and the thing that I always go back to, is just the weight class. Crawford's going up 3 weight classes. The last time he fought, went up on weight, fought Madrimov. You say you don't watch boxing, but he got, a lot of people. Madrimov.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, 154.
Rising star Jaron Boots Ennis gave his take, calling the fight a genuine 50-50. He acknowledged Canelo's size, experience, and dominance at higher weights, but also praised Crawford's adaptability and mental toughness. Ennis said this matchup is unpredictable because both fighters have weapons to neutralize each other. He predicted a razor-close contest where every round matters, and either man could walk away victorious.
I guess it's a fight that everybody wants to see, so it's a good fight.
How difficult is it to make that jump from, he only had one fight at 54, so like 147, 154 to 168 pounds?
You said how difficult is it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little difficult because you got to, what do you have to put on, like an extra 14 pounds, so he might be a little slower, or who knows, he could be faster, I don't know, like it's just, you got to add more weight and gain more muscle and stuff like that, moving up in weight and things like that, so it's a little harder, but I don't know, we'll see on fight night how he'll look.
What does Terence Crawford have to do to be successful in that fight?
Be smart, take his time, box and move, don't sit there and not even try to bomb on him.
What about Canelo Alvarez?
I feel like Canelo had to just go and press him, had to press him, everything behind the stick, catch him, try and pull out, pull back, anything, cutting the ring off, things like that.
Is it one of those situations where you try to punch on like the smaller man's like arms?
You might have to bully him. You might have to bully the smaller guy.
Former middleweight champion Daniel Jacobs, who fought Canelo himself, shared an insider's perspective. Jacobs admitted Canelo is elite but insisted Crawford's sharpness and determination in training have shown he belongs on this stage. He suggested Crawford may need to test Canelo's stamina by pushing the pace at key moments. Jacobs admitted the challenge is massive, but said Crawford has a very real shot. Having witnessed his preparation firsthand, Jacobs believes the Omaha-born champion could rise to the moment and shock the world.
Canelo Alvarez, and since then, obviously, naturally, he's slightly declined.
Yeah.
Do you see this decline that people talk about?
Well, I can see in increments because Canelo, which I've always said is an amazing legendary fighter, but he fights in spurts. So sometimes it takes for the opponent to actually initialize him giving the best. When he was faced with me, the opposition that I had and what I was giving him, it was just a lot, whether it was boxing, whether it was coming forward, but most importantly, it was the punches and bunches. And so he was forced to either stand there, wait for the right time, or be combative and go back at it. So I think that's what Crawford may have to do, push the pressure, make Canelo fight, or maybe just play it safe, win on points,
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more updates.